Okay, very great. So welcome everyone to today's event where we shall talk about how to learn more effectively when you are studying for C exams. So far as I know, most CIPS students are part-time. You have other commitments. You have work, you have family. Some students are mother with 2 or 3 children. So there are a lot of commitments. There are a lot of work. I know you are stressed. I know you feel burdened and you feel stretching out. You may feel burned out as well. So the less time you have, the more precious it becomes. And instead of just studying passively, you can be more efficient by studying more actively, more proactively. In this event, I want to guide you the several ways and several tools for a more efficient study. We shall look at how we can be more efficient, how we can study a long book with more limited time. And all these things are pretty scientifically proved. So you can trust the process and just continuously practice with the behavior. First, let's compare between what is passive learning and what does it mean by active learning. When I ask most students, then they answer me. When I ask most students about how they study for six exam, they simply answer me something like, "You just read the book and then practice with the exam." I don't think that's enough because when you read the book, first thing, the book is pretty long. You can be overwhelmed. You can feel it is too much, and some people even suggest me that they don't want to read the book at all because they don't have time and they just want to practice with my questions and take the exam. They ask me, is that enough? My answer, never enough. Because my questions only cover part of the study guide, part of the syllabus, and you may see different questions in the exam because CIPS may update their question bank and maybe I may not catch up with them because they have the initiative. I don't. And I need to keep it up to date after each exam by asking my students as well. So the practice questions are not up to date sometimes. And I need to improve that continuously. So practice with the question alone doesn't help you improve your understanding or prepare for sudden or pretty challenging questions. But if you study more actively and you know how to do that, then even the most difficult question will not challenge you. So to do that, then you need to have more effective way, not just passively reading, but also put your mind on practice, on breaking down the information. So I suggest several ways of active learning. You can try to break down the information into smaller parts and study them by this way. Then you can simplify and conceptualize the knowledge and make it easier to remember. Second, you can ask yourself or reflect with several questions to expand your own knowledge and prepare for even the most surprising questions. For example, I think that the most notorious example here is F 3. Although in study guide, they never mention about the sales a good act of 1979. But in the exam, they had several questions about that, or they have the question about liquidated damages versus penalty using some case law like Dunlop versus New Garage 1915. The study guide never mentioned that. You only know that if you either study LFAM 3 or you study English contract law in details. But for most students, then we don't have such chance. So if you study more actively, if you raise more questions around the book topic, then you may not be surprised by such type of question. and you can be more prepared for the exam than ever. Next, for certain part of the knowledge, like for new vocabulary, like in FOM6 about cost leadership, differentiation, and other business strategies, then sometimes you need to practice with space repetition and helps you to remember the name or some short pieces of information. The best use case here, probably Incoterms in your form 4, you may need to remember the name and different type Incoterm within that table. Okay, so space repetition with some flashcards may help you to do that. You can know that X word abbreviation is EXW, or delivered DTP has the abbreviation as DDP. So that will help you to connect and to memorize those things better. Further, when you finish reading a book, you also need to reflect to know that where you still need improvement. And reflection here will help you to understand your weakness and how you should prepare for the exam. Actually, CIPS provides us with a lot of tools for learning, and especially if you want to study more actively, then CIPS website, CIPS study guide, CIPS syllabus, and other tools may help you as well. So the most basic tool here is the syllabus. As you know, the syllabus summarize the key points of the book, and by looking at that, you know the book is talking about something. So when you are about to study some module, then it is compulsory to look at the syllabus yet. Sorry, to look at the syllabus first. Later, I may advise you like don't just jump to the book before you read the table content or syllabus, because as you know, the book is long and there is a lot of information. You may feel overwhelmed, you may feel so stressed because of that length, and you may feel lost among the information because it provides too much. So the syllabus here, it is here to help you understand what is talking about and how you may direct your reading. Second, when certain part of knowledge is too heavy, it is too difficult, then you may need to break it down into smaller and more and simpler pieces of information. For example, when you study for Form 4, you may see some parts about financial analysis. So you can try to use mind map to connect the financial statements and different financial ratios. Like we can divide the financial analysis into different statements: income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement. And then for each statement, you can divide further into different parameters and different ratios. When you study level 5, for example, module Alpha 4, it is even more challenging because it introduces more ratios, it introduces more theories about benchmarking and balanced scorecard. So it requires you to break the things down into simpler concepts and more manageable and chewable pieces of information. By the way, then you can summarize and you can imagine about how you can learn what part should have more of your attention and so on. Another way to study more actively, more proactively, is to answer every question from study guide, apply, check, and check the questions. Actually, I like the check the question most because they tend to ask you the often neglected part, and it helps you to imagine about what part you need to review. So when you read the book, don't ignore these questions. Finally, flashcards could be helpful in certain niche. like studying for short business information like Incoterm, and they tend to be a lot. So you may summarize them within flashcard using some popular app like Quizlet or Anki to practice that. And both Quizlet and Anki are free on the PC and on Android device. So you can practice with that. Quizlet, but however, Quizlet requires internet connection, while Anki doesn't do so. So you may consider about using different app. These are the tools. But in the next slide, I will introduce about the overall process. It means like how you can study from the start to the end before the exam. Now, this is the process. First, first thing here, it sounds like counterintuitive, but actually it is much more productive than reading the book from the first page to the final page So first, avoid reading the book at first. Okay, so we don't read the book when we don't know yet what it is in the book, what kind of information will be in the book. So before reading the book, you need to look at the syllabus. Imagine what part or what knowledge will be conveyed, uh, what information will be put to you, will be introduced to you. And even better, you need to write further questions to direct your reading. If you read the book first, then you may feel surrounded by information, especially when you don't have such background in certain module. Like when you start reading Form 7, you may feel like, well, first, they just introduce warehouse, but not every procurement professional are working in the warehouse. So it is a completely new thing. And you don't know how to navigate that among so much new information. So before reading, you need to have some compass. These are the questions, right? You need to have the compass. Like at the sea, when the sailor doesn't know where to go, then he needs to have a compass and he needs to direct his ship in certain direction. Same thing apply here. When you are about to read something, and especially when you lack the time, you need to have the direction. And by reading the syllabus, and even better, when you write several questions under each title of the syllabus, then you know what you need to find and what information you need to find, how you need to find it, and you have much better imagination about what information you seek from the book, what you want to learn from the book. Okay, so it is much more better, and it helps you um, not get lost when reading the book. However, reading is still advisable, but you should write the question first and then you read the book. Even skim read still help you to get information. And then after reading, especially when you have something difficult, you may need to summarize your reading. You may do that through through a simple description of the book, okay, by written by yourself, or you can create a mind map. Mind map is a way to visualize the ideas and their connection. And for more difficult parts, especially when it is new and require most of your memory, then you may create the flashcard, for example, the Incoterms. Okay, so it is much better for you to connect things together, memorize them, not just passive reading. Passive reading may make you lost in the information. You know where to go, where to look at, and overall, you just forget most information from the book. After reading, then you can also check your understanding by writing several questions. Okay, you can use the question that you write earlier from the second step. here, you can ask yourself those questions and check whether you get your required information from study guide. All right. So first of all, when you study Form 7, Form 7, then you have the syllabus. It is very clear. These are some examples. These are some headings from Form 7. We have part 1.2.1. This is the systems for product coding. Although the syllabus stop at this and it doesn't provide any further information and you need to read the book for more information. But before reading, you can ask yourself several questions. First, what are different systems for product coding? All right, so you can search that in the study guide. Second, how are they used? How are they used in inventory process? In other words, how are product coding applied in inventory process? And third, what are its benefits or why do inventory managers use them? For the first question, I think the study guide provide a pretty some pretty detailed information. Like they said that there are several systems for product coding, like numerical, alphanumerical, alphabetical, and then we have the random sequential, and significant coding. Okay, so they are different systems, and they in study guide they also introduce different definitions for that, and then they also introduce about how these things are applied in inventory process. First of all, with a complex warehouse, we have several items, and each item are marked or identified with a stock keeping unit or SKU, and each SKU is defined by a code. So it is easier for us to look for these items within a computerized system, and it can help us to reduce a lot of work, and we can check the availability of the items through the software with that product code. Also, it may help us to reduce the time for information input, right? So in the study guide, they introduce the SKU and then different system for product coding, but they don't really introduce how and why and what are the benefits of using product coding. So by raising these questions, you can see that we can even elaborate the function further and answer more important questions and have you not just passing the exam, but also help you to apply these things better at the work. Okay, so proactive learning is much better, and it may also require the same time, right? I know that passive reading is kind of like it has some psychological effect because at least you feel you are doing something, and it doesn't require much energy. Proactive learning require more energy actually because you need to write down, you need to think. Actually, it requires more energy, but it is much more effective and makes you like and make you feel thinking more systematically, right? Similarly, we can apply the same thing in 1.2.2 about barcoding and quick response coding or QR code. So you can write similar questions. What is barcode and how does it look like? They are just black and white stripes. And why is it so popular? What is its history? What are the features? Where we can find the barcode? We can find the barcode virtually everywhere, like on the package of the item that you buy from the supermarket. You can see that the cashier are using the barcode for checking the price and adding to the list of your purchase and so on. You can ask yourself what are its advantages and disadvantages when compared to other technologies like RFID. As you can see by this way, then we summarize these things better. And when you read the book, you know what you are looking for. It is much better than just passive reading. With passive reading, it feels like you just walking into a desert, and without any tool, you just don't know where to go. You just go to the east and then move south and then go to the west and then get lost. Okay, it doesn't have, and you feel exhausted when you reach somewhere, and when the deadline comes, you feel so, okay, you feel panic as well. But with more proactive reading and learning, then you know where to go. You have a compass when you walk through the desert. You see a path go through. And when you go through the desert, you know which town you are going to next. So you have a sense of purpose and feel more motivated. Right. So this is how we can apply active learning in studying for CIPS. Um, Nowadays, we have another tool. I think that it is pretty helpful, although sometimes it may provide wrong information. We have the artificial intelligence, or AI for short. It can be considered as a tool, or for some researcher, it could be a toy. Okay, just playing, nothing serious. Okay, so it is just a toy. But for many students, then it could be a tool. But just like any tool, like a knife is a tool. If you don't know how to use a knife, then you can cut yourself. But when you know how to use it, then it can become useful. It can help you cut down meat and vegetable and prepare the best meal ever. The same thing applied to artificial intelligence. At this stage, at the moment, then I think that it is still early in its development, and it can be improved. And AI potentially it can provide inaccurate information. Sometimes it can provide misleading or wrong information. So we need to double check that, because sometimes it may provide incorrect information. Yeah. So double check is necessary. However, there are some very good use case of AI, that is personalized learning. When I interact, when I communicate with CIPS students, I realize that they come from very diverse list of countries. Some from South Africa, Botswana, Malawi, and then Uganda, Nigeria, even UK, and from Bangladesh, Australia, and from my country, Vietnam. So for every country like that, they have different education background. And it is very difficult to help you understand everything from the top to the bottom, from a standardized study guide or from a standardized book, right? So we need something more personalized, more customized, and AI fills that gap. For example, when you have several questions like this and the study guide doesn't provide them, you can either search them on the internet. Okay, but nowadays I think Google is falling behind, and I also prefer AI to do those jobs. You can describe your problems to AI and ask them to create a roadmap for you to study. And it can help you to write several questions before you read. Also, help you answer these questions when you feel there's no representation from the book. So AI could be used in that case. Furthermore, when you feel stuck in some part, like about Incoterms, or about like about Incoterms, or about the business case, or about different type of specification, then you can ask AI to elaborate that further. It can answer like we are 5 years old. So it is a very great tool for personalized learning, and it may suit the individual needs. However, then don't expect AI to create the questions, or don't expect AI to answer the question for you, or learn your CR from writing with them. Okay, sometimes they may provide wrong information, and their information could be outdated or could be dangerous as well. So I think that we need to be very specific and careful when using the artificial intelligence. Now, I think it's time to have a little bit of practice. So just like the earlier question I raised in the previous slide, I just want to check your understanding in certain part of knowledge, like in Form 7. So I have 3 questions for you, and please answer by typing in the chat. Of course, we still have a reward for the winner here. The best answer will be awarded with a free lifetime access for a test. So I have 3 questions here. Please explain the advantages and disadvantages of RID. Second, analyze different reasons for potential reasons for obsolescence and return stock. And third, explain the use of NPV in whole life cost. You will have 15 minutes for these questions. And please type down your answer in the chat while it is open. Now, allow me to start the clock. Okay, I set a timer for 15 minutes. Okay, very quick. I see the first, yeah, not much. Remember that you need to answer all three questions. Okay, my co-host Jessica noticed that there's some answer using AI with AI formatting. So we don't count this in the final result. However, for other participants, you need to answer you need to include your answer within one. Could you put it in a continuous chat, not separate like that? We have 5 minutes left. Yeah, due to the number of answer, I think that I should summarize the answer here under of Excel file. So just continue. I may need to summarize you. We All right, time's up. And I accept no further answer. Okay, but there are so many answers that I need to summarize a little bit before announcing the result. Okay, so I accept no further answer here from here. And also turn off the chat for a little bit when I am managing the answer here. Okay, we shall continue after I summarize every question, every answer here. Sorry for this inconvenience. Okay, so as you can see, there are multiple answers, and I think that it's a little bit hard to keep track of them. So I shall paste this one into a into an Excel file. Okay, please wait. All right, let me see the answer. So I just summarize a few answers here, but it's a little bit overwhelmed for me. Let me split the screen. Okay, open the Excel. All right, so I summarize the answer based on the participant names and their chat. Okay, we have a few answers from Marvis, from Naslin Pass, right? Okay, from someone named user. Next time you should change your name, or I don't know who answered this one. Okay, just scroll down. And then Ashley. All right, please wait, this is too much. And then CB. Okay, so pretty long answer. answer we have Banusha. Right, so there are 6 contenders. Samachi as well. For Jang 66, your answer is not accepted because you use 2 like artificial intelligence here. Samaji, answer question 3 first. CB. Okay, we may consider this, but it looks like you use artificial intelligence as well. Yeah, okay, very suspicious. You need to do the answer yourself, not using tools. Really cheating. In the exam, you don't have such luxury. Okay, next, like from Marcus. Banusha. User. Now, Kinjal as well. Also, user. And Banusha. All right, so the answer I hear. Okay, I see that. Yeah, I see that among the contender, then we have user answer all question, Ashley, no, just a few. So we have user answer all question, CB answer all question, Banusha. Okay, answer all question. Samaji, not all. And Kinja. All right, so with CB, the case is that I suspect that your answer using um, uh, artificial intelligence, and it contains too much information with very good formatting. So this is a case of suspicion. Normally, we don't have much formatting when we need to tie down things in hasty. So we have a few answers that offer the full answer, like from Banusha, Kinjal, and user. Right. Let's look at detail. Okay, for user, the advantages include increased accuracy, improved security, efficient tracking. Yeah, that's correct, but you can elaborate further. For disadvantage, then more expensive, privacy issue, security concern. Here, I see that most students fail to realize that RFID is quite limited for certain items, like from metal or with liquid content. So it can be interfered. It uses a frequency, and the frequency could be interfered. They did not mention in the study guide, but uh, actually, yeah, I think that we can find that information in the study guide. But most students never mention that, except the one who use the AI. So with this image here, I hope that you can include something like the frequency could be interfered by using technology or using some items like using a metal or using a liquid. Then for those equipment, you need to use a separate or specialized RFID tag. So it can be even more expensive to implement when it comes to those items. And for RFID, I don't think privacy concern is a matter. Yeah, it could be about tracking the item within a range, but normally we use that to track the item, not someone. So not a real reason. Okay, so next for obsolescent and redundant. Then for user, his answer include yeah, overstocking, outdated due to reason. Okay, that is obsolescent. For redundant, then overstocking, change in demand, poor inventory management. Okay, yeah, that's acceptable. And with NPV, NPV whole life costing calculate the present value cash flow by discounting them at a specified rate. It has to evaluate as investment or project by considering the time value for money. Right. I asked you about the application of NPV in whole life cost. Yeah, whole life costing. You need to explain in the light of whole life costing. This is Capline just repeat the definition from the book without any customization. So it shows that you still not customize your answer. Okay, so for NPV, then we use the principle NPV. We use the time value for money principle to calculate the net cash flow um, of an item and to see whether it generates net cash flow in its lifetime or it will produce a loss. So you need to include that in your answer as well. Because we are considering the whole life cost. And when we decide to purchase an item, a capital item, then we need to calculate whether it return positive cash flow with discounts to the net present value, or if it produces losses, so we don't invest that. Okay, so you need to improve your answer. Okay, next, let's look at Manusha. With the advantages, we have enhancing efficiency, rapid data collection. With rapid data collection, then barcode could do the same. Actually, this is not correct collection, but yeah, sorry. With RFID, then it can have with collection as well. Sorry. Track item automatically. How? It can track the location, but for tracking in the supply chain, then we still need to input, we still need to build the system, not really automatically. Disadvantage: investment costs, security concern, conflict accuracy. RFID tag could be can be a barrier for low value items. Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Okay, so yeah, not really. Reason for obsolescence and redundant include overstocking, change in technological advancement like regular stock rotation, inadequate tracking of product life cycle, poor quality control. Okay, yeah, that's sensible. Okay, for NPV, discount future costs and benefit to their present day equivalent positive. NPV indicate that project is financially worthwhile. Sorry, but I'm talking about asset management, not project management. So you need to customize your answer. Okay, so if you have any feedback, then just type down the answer in the chat. I just enable the chat again. Okay, I just now let's consider Kinja. For RFID, advantages include non-contact operation, correct, fast and simultaneous scanning, correct, high data capacity, correct, durability, yeah, and real-time tracking. Uh, enhance accuracy, support automation, provide scalable and secure solution. Okay. Disadvantage include higher costs, potential interference, privacy concern, and complexity in integration. If it is better, you need to elaborate what does it mean by potential interference. Okay, but overall it's quite good. Obsolescent and redundant, poor forecasting, overstocking, technological changes, sometimes shift in demand, cultural, yeah, potentially cultural changes. Right, next, sometimes shift, overall ineffective, inventory management, high lead time, product discontinuation, regulatory changes, internal production update. Okay, yeah, that's sensible. Next, net present value, evaluate total cost of asset over its entire life. Minimize to current value. Not minimizing, but discounting to current value at a specified rate. It helps in long-term cost planning to take informed. So among the answer, I think that the answer from Kim Zhao is the best. So it is very detailed and also specific to my question. So congratulations to Kim Zhao. And please tell me what kind of test would you expect? Okay, you can unmute now.
Hello. Hey.
Yeah.
Yes. Hey, I have no idea. I just joined to see, how I'm gonna go for level 4 course. So this is the first time I'm just attending and just going through. And
Okay.
I have read couple of documents, but I have
Yeah.
no idea how to take an exam and and been working in this industry for 5, 6 years. So yeah, I know things, but yeah, I don't know how to give exam and all those things. So I have no idea, believe me, that which exam I'm gonna take first, which level I'm gonna go first, level 1, 2, 3 to 8. So I have no idea. I don't know what
Actually,
to tell you.
okay, actually, I think that you have a lot of potential and you have shown that you understand how to study. But the thing is, you may not familiar with the exam yet,
Yes.
but it may take time. And we are happy to see that you just demonstrated your ability.
Yeah.
Actually, you have a lot of potential for ace at the exam and have other students. So we okay, so I may give you a random example, sorry, a random practice question like the one you have done like Form 7. Is that okay for you?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. No problem.
Okay, yeah, thank you, Kinja. Thank you very much. Now, I think that it is fair for us to have some a Q&A session, right? So if you have any further concern about how to study, just type down your concern in the chat and let me know. Okay, I just open the chat again. Okay, any concern about the way we study or how we can utilize your time? Right, I received a question from Naslin Pies. Okay, which module to take? 1, 2, 3, 4. I have taken M2 first. So the thing is, the choice of module here is up to you. And if you feel more familiar or if you feel more ready with certain module, then you just go for it. I think closely resemble to M2. You can take M3, but both M3 and M4 are quite challenging. So you can think about the strategy to study M3 and M4. Okay, like you need to review the study guide, you need to summarize the potential question, come from the syllabus, etc. With any module, then it is not just about how much you know, it is also about how much time you can devote to that. If you have only 20 minutes a day, and I think that it could be enough for studying one assessment criteria, studying one part of the study guide, then I think that you may need to have like 1 month you can study one module. Okay, you can study one module in 1 month. So if you have several months in prepare, then you can take several ones. But just to ensure that you are ready for all of them, okay, to avoid high costs. Kinjal, yes, I have some tutorial service, but my schedule is currently full, so I don't receive any class yet. However, then I'm about to upload every of my recording to my website, and I think that it will be easier for you to follow the recent trends and recent questions from my website. Furthermore, we have the practice question on Udemy, and you can search for that if you want to um, if you want to familiarize yourself with the documents. Kinjal, I don't know where you are from, but I'm from Vietnam, and it is impossible to teach everyone in the world, and especially offer the offline class. We only do online. Okay, any other questions? Of course, there are differences between L4 and L5. Of course, there are differences between L4 and L5. I'm addressing the question from Gumede. In level 4, it is for operational level, and in level 5, it is for managerial level. With managerial level in level 5, it is mostly about managing, and each module has different subject. Like FIM1 is about managing individuals and team. It means about human resource management. In FIM4 about advanced contract and financial management. FIM2 is about managing supply risk. FIM3 contractual risk, and so on. So in level 5, the modules tend to focus on management. However, then most of level 5 knowledge in every modules, they are built based on level 4, except L501. So I think that there will be a lot of difference. However, then if you know pretty much from level 4, then level 5 would be easier. Sorry. Yes, for level 5, the format for objective response is also different. With level 5, instead of 60 questions, in level 4, you have 60 questions per subject. In level 5, then you only have 46 questions per module. And there are 2 matching questions. But the question format are largely the same, except the matching question. Shamaji, you don't need to book the exam in sequence. You can take any of them, and as long as you finish all module, you pass all module, then you will receive the diploma. We also have suggestion. We also have the suggestion on how to combine the module together to simplify your study. Okay, so is there any other question? All right. If you have any further concern, then remember that our inbox are open for you. Just contact us on WhatsApp, email, or just visit our website. I think that you may find a lot of useful information from that. Okay, en.evocumen.edu.vn, or just simply shoot us a message on WhatsApp. We expect to see you again in other events, and I hope that next week your is your exam. So I hope that all of you will get the best result from July exam. Thank you very much for your participation, and see you again in other events from Evoc Human.